That's the first, and you know what? Here's a little known piece of trivia.
Yeah?
My first kind of jazz experience was, again, growing up, wasn't a jazz guy. You know, I listened to the radio and you listen to pop music, mostly, rhythm and blues pop. But a friend, Danny Cortez, whose parents were jazz fans, and I went to Danny Cortez's house one day, and they had a record, and it was It's Monk's Time. Great picture of Monk in a fez cap or that toque or whatever that he used to wear. Sweaty, and it just looked so cool. And I thought, hey, Danny, can I borrow this record? So I took this record home, had Tea for Two on it, had Blue Monk on it, had all these great, first time I'd ever heard it, and it just absolutely knocked me out. And I became a Monk fan then. I was probably like 6th grade or something.
Another fine Monk product.
Another fine, and it was Columbia. It was when he was recording for Columbia.
Yeah, on the down stretch. He was still great.
It was great. Great stuff.
So after the Palco, I'm sure you went through just a huge series of guitars.
Oh, I have been promiscuous with the guitars, my friend.
Yeah,
yes, I have.
But very careful, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh yeah. Well, and then I landed on this one. Yeah, no, I've been through a virtual army of instruments, guitars. I've had, I like Tellies a lot. This is yours is kind of what for the viewers at home, a Telecaster style guitar, which was Leo Fender's design, and it's just a great guitar. But I like the scale length on it. It's a 25.5-inch scale length, which is what this one is. But there's certain things about, I've had Les Pauls and 335s, and I went through a notorious archtop phase. I must have owned, at one time or another, no fewer than, not all at the same time, obviously, but going through them, at least a dozen mid-40s Gibson L5s. I mean, just looking for the one or looking for, the differences. Even it's a production guitar, right? So that means it goes down the line and different people do different things to it. But they're carved and they're different than flat top guitars or electric guitars. And they're all different. They're so unique. It's like you'd say, oh, I love the neck on this one, or this one's got a little more bottom end, or this one's so punchy, or I don't know,
And then how did you, you've been playing the Lacey. This is a Lacey guitar.
Yes, I've had this for a long time.
How did you settle on that one? What was it about this one that just said, okay, your obsession ends here?
My wife said, stop, no. No, that's not it. She's actually been really very encouraging and good about it. I don't know. I think it's like you develop an affinity with an instrument, you know? I think that there are people that you find a guitar that does what it does. It's a little bit of a hybrid thing because it's got features of an archtop guitar, which I love, with what they call a trapeze tailpiece and the floating bridge. And stylistically, it kind of borrows from D'Angelico, which was who was a very famous builder. It's got a carved top. It's made of spruce, which is unusual for an electric guitar, but it's very common in archtop guitars. But it's a solid mahogany back and neck, very much like a Les Paul or something else. And the lower bout is this is called the lower bout, the width of the guitar, is a little bit wider. It's a 15-inch, and yours is probably like a 14-inch, but it's a little more comfortable. So it's part ergonomics and it's, sound, it's the neck contour, it's just the things, all of it just, crashes into one another in one instrument and you go, well, I guess this is what I was looking for. And I like the fact that one guy built it. I like the fact that it's not a production instrument. I got it secondhand from a guy who commissioned it. Mark Lacey lives just outside of Nashville in a beautiful little town called Kingston Springs. He's an Australian guy, been building guitars for a long time, and just a remarkable builder. And it's just a great instrument. The intonation is good. It's the right weight. It's just good.
I'll give you $130 for it today, $100 in cash and $30 in an IOU.
If you'll throw in another orange, we'll talk about it after the.
All right, yeah, you've got an orange on your pedal board.
Yeah.
All right, this guitar real quickly. This is a Lee Greenwood's guitar player.
Really?
Yeah, that's why, and it was painted what I would call sophomore college guy puke yellow. It's really quite ugly, but it's just one of these guitars.
I don't know. I think that's called, it's like a TV yellow. You
Oh,
know?
it's not sophomore college boy puke
Well,
yellow?
I think they referred to it as the TV finish. You know, Les Paul, there was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
famous Les Paul Jr., right, with a TV finish. And they made it for TV because the other ones, there were reflective issues with it. So they called it a TV special.
And that's why I
And
brought it.
And it was this
because
kind
I
of
knew we were going to be on TV.
odd little yellowish, hued, slightly transparent kind of thing.
I'm going to give it a run then.
Probably.
So why don't you just, we're going to improvise something here. Why don't you just start out with something and
Okay.
I'll join in and
All
ruin
right,
it for
we'll go
everybody.
into the land of, I don't know, something here.
The land of,
It's so quiet in this room.
we'll fix that.
You know what's funny?
Yes, I know what's funny. But I can't speak of it.
But I cannot speak of it.
cannot verbalize
I
it.
will not speak of this.
Oh, we're going to go there. We're going to get spacey.
Oh, you want to do something
No,
less spacey?
no, you're calling it. I like it.
I like it when it just kind of happens, you know?
Yeah. Our guest on Studio 865 is Mr. Bob Deck. Bob lives in Strawberry Plains. He's got 3 useless dogs, some fairly useful goats. This song could go on for a couple of years. It's great. That's a great thing about these effects is we don't even have to actually touch the guitars. And I got a new iPhone app that I used on this song. I don't know if you noticed. Yeah, it's a new iPhone app where it's a percussion instrument.
Should I fade that?
Oh, we'll just let it fade out to the end of the show. We got about, I'd say, by my guess, 26 seconds. Hey, thanks for coming down.
You know, it's a pleasure. It really is, no kidding.
No.
And you guys?
You guys?
Everybody else here in the studio?
Yeah. Thanks to our guitars. Farewell.